So please direct your attention up to this group and give them your full and undivided attention for Tom and Josh Leash.
So to start off this talk, we'll start off like any other talk in prayer. And for this prayer, I'd like to do the Our Father. So, in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
All right, so what are you doing over there?
I was talking to God, and God told me, He says, God told me to bring my faith to the people, man. Just like P90X.
All right, well,
He said, sometimes you might stumble, sometimes you might fall, but you just got to keep pushing the button and keep bringing it to the people.
all right. Thanks for that, Dad. But let's get to the actual talk now. All right, so like Jake said, about the creed, both the Apostles and the Nicene Creed, they start out with, I believe in God, the Father, the Almighty, creator of heaven and earth. So, Jesus tells us to refer to God as Father. But why? Well, first of all, Jesus teaches us to, so we should probably do it. But second of all, he thinks that that's how our relationship with God should be. Our relationship with God should be like a relationship with a father, like my dad. Okay? Because God has the strength to be the creator of earth, creator of everything on it and all of us. And you know, even though God might not do P90X or whatever that insanity mumbo jumbo is, he's a pretty strong dude. And he wants us to think of God as a strong character. And the fact that we refer to him as Father, that implies a lot of strength. Second, God is a provider. Traditionally, fathers are providers of the family. They bring back the money or the food or whatever it is to keep their wife and their children happy and alive and well. God is like that as well. He's a provider. So I'm going to borrow from the Bible here. This is from John 14:14. If you ask anything of me in my name, I will do it. So with that, Jesus is telling us that when we pray to God and we call him our Father, he's going to be there for us. He's going to be there to provide for us. So here, it's still me. Sorry. I'm going to talk about a little bit about what I've learned about being a son, based on learn about my relationship with God based on my relationship with my father. So neither relationship are always easy. Relationships with my dad can get kind of rough sometimes. Sometimes he likes to embarrass me by wearing silly hats like this, but today I thought I'd join in and dress up. So, like I said, neither are always easy. They've all got their ups and their downs. Some days I'll be super happy with my dad and we'll get along just fine, but other days we'll want to rip each other's throats out. I don't know what it is. Hearts out? No, throats. For me. My heart's pretty loud. But anyways, they've got their ups and their downs, and sometimes my faith life is not exactly how it should be. Sometimes I get angry at God for the things he does. If he, takes something away from me or does something. Sometimes, I feel like, God, why did you do that? And so, they've got their ups and their downs. And sometimes I'm all like, yay, God, you're awesome, and I love you, and you bring everything to me, and my life is awesome. So, it's kind of like that. Also, I can't do many of the things that I can do without God, just like I can't do a lot of things that I do without my dad. With God, I have the strength to be that person that I know that I can be. By praying to God, I know that through a lot of hard work and with him, that I can be that good Christian person that I always strive to be, even though it doesn't always work out. gives me the constant confidence in the things that I do to be great. He's always there for me in my swim meets. He's always there for me in my Boy Scouting ventures. He's always there for me. He's always there to give me that confidence so that I know I can be that person. But then being a son can be also compared to God and my dad. So God provides for me, like I said. He provides for me with the Eucharist. At Mass, every week, I can go up and I can get the Eucharist. And as the source and the summit of our faith, happy. I know that, each week I can go there and I can feel a little bit better by receiving Christ into my body. He gives me that strength. Also with the gifts and the talents and the relationships God provides for me. With all of my talents, whether that be swimming or if I used to play saxophone, I guess, that's kind of a talent. So with that kind of stuff, God provides for me. My dad provides for me as well. He doesn't just give me food and shelter, but he's always that person that I can trust. He's that person that I have that special relationship, man to man, so I can talk about things with him that I don't talk about with everybody else. And so we share that special bond where we can go out, we can go hiking, we can wear silly hats, and we can enjoy nature together. And that's something special to me. So now my dad's going to talk a little bit about what he learned about being a father.
So, being a father, think about that. God our Father, what an awesome responsibility I have. And anytime I ever think about that, is God is my Father, and it's like, how can I even come close to being the same kind of father figure for the people that are closest to me? And so it's a huge responsibility, and something that I've never taken lightly in my life. It's something that I feel passionate about, and I know that even though I'm not perfect, God is there for me as I stumble through raising a family and raising 3 boys in my case. And that strength comes from God, because through those relationships that I form with my boys, there's lots of joys that come with raising children. I get to hold them when they're first born, and they're just these tiny little babies that need everything I've done for them. Then they get older, and you can start playing games with them. You can toss them up in the air, which is always a fun thing to do. And then they get even older, and they start participating in things. They start to learn how to read. You read to them, they start to learn how to read. And that's one of my greatest joys, is being able to sit with my boys and read to them when they were younger. And now, even now, we can sit together in bed at night before we go to bed and sit and just read a story. Sam reads his story, and I'm reading my story. Or we can read together when we're on a camp out, and we've got the little Kindle app on the iPhone, don't we, Sam? We read a book. So there's lots of joys. The joys of just spending time with my boys and watching them compete, watching them swim, play soccer or play football. It's the coolest thing to watch them compete and do the things that they love to do, and then go camping with them. Because our world is so loud and our lives are so crazy and we're busy with so many things. One of the special joys and one of the biggest gifts God has given me is the joy of my boys loving to be outdoors as much as I do. And nothing is better than stepping into the woods where it's nice and quiet, listening to the birds, smelling the smells of the evergreens, and just walking in the woods quietly with my boys so that we can think about our relationships and how close we are and how close God has made our relationship. Now, it's not all roses, right? Josh has said, there are times when I get on his nerves, and there's times when he gets on my nerves. And there's struggles, but relationships are like that, right? They're never easy. But something that's worthwhile doing is worth the work that it takes to do that. So, there's struggles, because as a father, you want the very best for your children. You want them to succeed in everything they do. But we know that we're not going to succeed at everything that we do. And we're going to fall down, and we're going to stumble at things, or we're going to make choices that aren't something that I necessarily would approve of or care for. When I asked Josh to clean his room, and he decides, I'm not going to clean my room today. I'm going to leave it a mess. Or when he decides to take my toenail clippers and hide them from me, because I know they're somewhere in that mess of his room, but I can't find it.
I have my own.
And finally, just to kind of, it's funny because fatherhood is kind of there's no manual. Probably the closest manual is right here in the Bible on how to raise a family. And so you rely on that Bible to raise your family. But the thing is even though you have that manual there, you learn things along the way. And I've learned through my own children that I can become closer to God through them. And I honestly have to say that that's quite a surprise. That here I thought, I was fairly strong in my faith life, and then my boys come along and say, well, Dad, you could do this and you can do that. And it's like, wow, yeah, I could. And that's what brought me closer to God. So through all of this, we've developed better relationships in life. And it's as simple as smiles, hugs, and helping one another. And so, is Zach here? Is Zach here? Zach, come on up. Sam, come on up. So one of the things God says to us, and I can say to my sons, is that, you are my beloved sons,